UK services, Lavazzi and book1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 400 and, oh blast, where are we, 77? Is that right, Kirby? Was that 487? I don't know. I had it in my mind until I got... Oh, no, 400... Oh, for goodness sake. On the live feed, it says 427. It's certainly not 427. Any ideas? All right. Anybody know which episode number this is? I reckon it's 487.
I can look. Hang on.
We should do insert here.
Yeah,
well, you get to start over.
Because I was talking to Kirby when I set the video feed going, it says 427 live. So don't get confused. Right then, yes. So I'm Adam, and you would make a good Dalek, Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
What are you going to do? Sucker me to death?
And Debbie Melrose.
Speak to me, Dalek.
Yeah, well done. Right then, we're waiting on Mary, so hopefully she's just sifting through the various possible quotes that she may or may not want. Or maybe she just wanted to see what we said before using her own choice.
Well, Adam, my quote is one of those things that's become one of those sayings that you just stand about doing stuff and suddenly somebody just goes, "Speak to me, Dalek," because it's quite a popular one in here and in our family. So it's become one of those weird quotes.
Okay, I've never tweaked on that one.
That's not a normal thing a normal family will say to each other.
We like sci-fi, we like weird things, and weird ways some people say things, or the tones and things seem to just hit our radar.
I may start saying that to my daughters.
Anyway, this week we're going to be reviewing Dalek. I did ask Robert Sherman if he'd like to come on. He didn't. He's felt a bit nervous about having to face you lot. I think that's what he was essentially applying.
Did you tell him I was on?
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah,
well, that'll be it then.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Have either of you met him?
But if you want to... what?
Have either of you met him?
Did you not listen to the FantasyCon show a couple of years ago when he was on it?
That's what I thought.
We have definitely met him, and he is absolutely splendid.
Yes, that's what I thought. I was trying to remember.
And he's actually on that show, and he was also on a show when I interviewed him in 2016. So he's been on twice, friend of the show, but didn't want to come on to this one. Right then, so so we're doing Dalek this week, and on we go.
Yeah, we go back into the past of 2012.
Huh? Oh.
That's when it's set.
Oh, the same year as the squiggly thing. The squiggly monster episode. Fear Her, I think it was called. Right then.
I thought, was that 2000? Yeah, you're right.
It wasn't made in 2012, but it was set in 2012. Anyway, back to Doctor Who.
Well, remember that was considered the far future.
Didn't they think that these things might age?
Well, it hasn't all Doctor Who.
I didn't get that from this because it was in a sort of secure bunker. It didn't feel very old to me. It could have been set in 2012, the way I watched it. But I'm not talking about that at the moment. I'm actually trying to get into the start of the episode, which would be quite useful to do.
Let's let them get out the TARDIS first, shall we?
Which is what they do. They're sort of in this sort of museum with some Doctor Who memorabilia in it. So it's basically a Doctor Who exhibition. In America, and I noticed, when they talked about the Slovene hand, it was obviously a member of the Slovene's family's hand rather than any other a member of the.
Yes.
Anyway,
now, what I want to know is what is that creature which is directly opposite the Cyberman head?
Well, that's a hemovore, isn't it?
No, not exactly.
No.
It might be.
It looks like one to me, and if it looks like the one to me, that means it is. Right, we've got. We'll go back.
You're always correct, Master.
Yes, we'll go back to what people have been saying on the live feed. That's via the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast Facebook group, which you can join. We're there every week if you want to suffer watching me and listening to the others. Terry Miles says, "Hello, Debbie." Didn't say hello to me, but there you go. Oh no, and then he says, "Good evening, everybody." And then somebody called Debbie Melrossi says hello. And Lee Anthony Davis says, hello, Lee Anthony Davis here, and how are all of you? Well, I've got a very sore bottom because my chair died yesterday, and I'm now sat on this folding chair, and it's like sitting on a concrete wall. Yes, that concrete.
That's not that bad. Put the cushion on it.
Your fancy chair that used to make farting noises?
He's back in it one too many by the sound of it.
No. The wheel broke on it. The chair itself would have been all right, but without a wheel and without being able to put a wheel back in it because the little plastic brackets broke, that's the end of the chair, so I've got a new one coming tomorrow. So yeah, I've got to sit uncomfortably. I wanted to get it today, but Deb said no, so I'm forced to sit on an uncomfortable chair. Anyway, right, there's back to Doctor Who. Yes, there's a little museum, and there's a Cyberman head who doesn't say it's a Cyberman. He just says it's an old friend. No, it's an old enemy. And then they get caught by a load of security.
Master?
What?
There's a xenomorph egg in the background past the TARDIS.
A what?
A xenomorph egg, as in alien.
Alien.
Okay. Lillian Robbins says hi. There's a helicopter lands, and I did say we were watching X-Men, one of the X-Men. We've actually watched all the X-Men films actually over the last week. One of them features Van Stratten himself, and when he came on the screen, excuse me.
Was there squealing?
What?
I've seen him in something before. I've seen him in Doctor Who.
Master?
Yes?
Didn't you notice that was the Bad Wolf reference with the helicopter?
Yeah, I did, but I'm not going to talk about it now. Anyway, this is Van Stratten. I said, Deb,
we must always talk about Bad Wolf.
No,
because it's the season, the series arc.
It's the one time that we can do it without it being like everybody go, oh.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah. So Van Stratten, I said to Deb when he appeared in the X-Men film, I said, remember that face, because she was able to. Obviously, then I said, did I remember when I said, do you remember that face? That was a moment that I could reference the actor from this story. So anyway, the Doctor and Rose are brought into Van Stratten's office where the Doctor shows off his musical skills with a little sort of device that doesn't look unlike the 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver in texture at least. Van Stratten runs a museum where he collects alien artifacts and displays them for himself and nobody else, basically. And he's got a bit obsessed with collecting these things.
That's how he makes his money, isn't it?
Well, I don't know how he does, because he doesn't display them to the public, does he? He just sort
no,
of...
he says he uses the tech.
Yes. I believe parts of the internet are from the crashed Roswell spaceship or something.
Yes,
I remember him saying
like that. Yeah,
yes.
he takes what he needs and uses it, and then maybe releases it for people.
Okay.
He's got a cure for the common cold, but it makes more money to sell palliatives against the symptoms.
Okay. Well, Lillian Robbins says hi, if I didn't mention that earlier. Meanwhile, this what?
I said hi.
A creature is being tortured. We know what the creature is because they gave it away in the title of the show.
Why?
You right there?
Yeah, I'm just doing my impression of the Dalek going, ow, ooey, owie.
Okay. And then we meet a alleged pretty boy, played by Adam, played by Bruno Langley. I thought it was quite funny when he was trying to stifle his northern accent, but he kept on pronouncing his G's at the end of the ing. Any word with an ending ing, he'd say ing.
It's very difficult. My dad does that.
What? Suppresses his ings.
He's very northern, and obviously if I've spoken to anyone from my family up north and things like that, my vowels definitely go back the way that they should.
Yeah, well, I was watching, everybody knows John Barrowman reverts to Glaswegian when he talks to Scottish people.
Yeah,
I've noticed this.
Yeah.
I watched Lulu's Who Do You Think You Are the other day, and same thing. She said she warned everybody as she was travelling on a train back to Scotland that she would become Scottish as soon as she spoke to someone, and indeed she did.
Master?
Right. Sorry?
Master?
Yes?
When they put the Doctor in the room with the Metaltron, and the door closes behind him, he hasn't spoken yet. Look to the left on a table. Do you see a box with a yellow thing?
A box with a yellow thing. Yeah.
Yes. That is a Jubilee pizza box.
Oh, marvellous. Thank you for that.
As in, it's the same company that used to deliver pizzas to Torchwood, and it's named after the Robert Sherman story that this was originally based on.
Yeah. Okay.
Jubilee.
Thank you
Cool.
for that, Kirby. Yeah, so like you say, the Doctor offers his help to try and investigate this creature. Wasn't he being tortured prior to that? No, or was that afterwards?
And after.
Afterwards, yeah. Anyway,
Before and after, yes.
it's a very
Anyway,
good.
we skipped ahead like.
It's a very gripping scene when, well, we know what's in there, when the lights come on and we realise the Dalek, and of course the Dalek's disarmed, and the Doctor has a few moments of relief, then gloating, and then bullying, to be fair.
That has got to be one of the best scenes that Christopher Eccleston did ever.
Yeah, it's got a bit of everything in, isn't it? It's a bit of his eyes, his mood, and just that eye acting was exceptional, wasn't it? It's just sort of going from one emotion to the next, all very close together. And then the Doctor decides that he's had enough of this Dalek and switched a few switches to electrocute him. So he did have a very good day, the Dalek, really. It's been electrocuted, prodded, poked at. But for once you feel slightly sorry, which is the clever part of this story. You feel slightly sorry for the Dalek when he's being tortured. And you want the bloke who looks a bit like the Dingle chap from Emmerdale to actually get done. I can't remember. I don't watch Emmerdale that often, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, then Rosemary.
That's the torturing?
Yeah. No. I mean, they have the character in Emmerdale, the Dingle character.
I have no idea. I've never seen
Kane
it.
Dingle. Yeah, he looks like Kane Dingle.
He does look like Kane Dingle, yes.
He's the one who uttered my quote.
Did he?
Yes, that's the one.
Anyway, so Rose, meanwhile, has been sent up, basically sent upstairs to get it on with Adam, but Adam's able to impress her with a few trinkets that he's picked up and
What kind of a name is Adam?
Scavenged. And
Little Lord Fauntleroy.
They do a very long sort of flirting session.
I
and then
felt
there's
really uncomfortable with him doing that.
Yeah, but they also get to look at what's going on in the Dalek cell, and obviously Rose observes the Dalek getting tortured. Ironically, then the Doctor is strapped to a grid, and they start torturing him. Then Rose decides to go in and get all cosy and sympathetic with the Dalek, touches the Dalek, and it starts coming back to life. Well, I'd come back to life,
Master?
actually, if Rose touched me on my head like that. No,
Master?
I wouldn't. What?
You do realize that modern Daleks are the height they are because of
Billy Piper. Yes, I know exactly. That was. I'm sure that's been referred to before on the show at some point. Robert Vance Jr. says hi. Robert Vance Jr. says hi all. Hope everyone had a nice Val Day last week. The first restaurant was on a 2-hour wait. Really? Longhorn Steakhouse, but ended up at Red Lobster. Steak and shrimp was great. Oh, nice of me to go to a restaurant.
Oh, sounds delicious.
Yes, we haven't got that facility here. So anyway, like Rose recharges the Dalek, and that, of course, that scene where that Kane Dingle bloke says, "What are you going to do? Sucker me to death?" Yep.
It's the noise he makes as he does. I love that.
As the Dalek goes on an initial rampage, the Doctor says, "You better free me, otherwise you're going to die." The Dalek sort of connects itself to an electrical supply, which rather coolly rebuilds its surfaces and bumps and everything, and it goes a little bit of a killing spree. It does rather look like the concourse area of the Millennium Stadium again. Sorry, what they call it?
You know why it looks like that?
Because it is there.
Yes.
Yes. And there's some rather cool shots of bullets disintegrating as they don't actually quite reach the Dalek. Very Matrix, but good stuff. And Van Stratton's, he's still thinking, well, I must preserve my... Don't worry about the people dying. I must preserve my artifact. And, of course, you get that scene where they're... What?
I just saw the map of the electrical grid going down because of the Dalek.
Yes.
And I guess it's not fair for me to say I noticed that Texas didn't go down.
Okay. I will have to apologise to you, Kirby, because Lillian Robbins said that she didn't know about the Dalek's height.
Really? I thought everyone knew that.
Well, they do now. Yeah. So anyway, talking about Rose, she starts legging it up the stairs and starts gloating because, of course, Daleks can't go upstairs, can they? Unless you remember the Remembrance of the Daleks episode, which obviously she didn't.
I ruined this thing for Isla because I'd shown her Remembrance of the Daleks first, Remembrance of the Daleks first, because obviously she's been watching with me. But when the Dalek does this, she was gripping me like you wouldn't believe it. It's a powerful moment.
Yeah.
That's the reason why when I asked for feedback, I used both this clip, and the clip from Remembrance.
Well done. Anyway, right, so it does still go up the stairs quite slowly, and the little soldier dies while Adam and Rose leg it. They then decide that they're going to corner the Dalek in another part of the concourse area. I presume it's the concourse area. But unfortunately, the Dalek's a little bit too clever for everyone. Rose and Adam go, because they're civilians, are able to hide, and the Dalek sort of shoots the... what they call it, sprinkler system, and then electrocutes everybody with the least effort available.
I was surprised that Rose and Adam could run through there, and they come around the corner and all those soldiers don't immediately shoot them.
Well, they don't look like Daleks, Kirby, to be fair, but...
Well, how do they know what the Dalek looks like? How do they know the Dalek's not a shapeshifter?
I would guess they probably would have been formed off camera.
I'm just being weird.
So anyway, the Dalek has another few conversations. Obviously, the Dalek wants orders. We forgot to mention this because Kirby talked over me. The Dalek's on its own and is a bit lost because it's a drone Dalek and wants orders. Of course, there's no orders coming because it's the only one.
Give me orders.
And Rose and Adam keep legging it around corridors while being followed by the Dalek.
The war.
Running through corridors, running.
Eventually, they get to the situation where they can shut the Dalek in with the bulkheads, but there's a timing on the gold bulkheads the Doctor has power over. Obviously, Adam and Rose have to run, and eventually he has to press the button and the bulkhead starts coming down. Adam, as fast a runner, sort of rolls under the closing door, leaving Rose behind. And there's a very powerful scene in which the Doctor has to say goodbye to Rose, and he's convinced that she's dead. And of course, when he realises that she isn't dead, he has to raise the bulkhead because, as he says, he can't kill her twice. And then the Dalek just won't kill her because the Dalek has a bit of Rose in her. Lucky Dalek? Am I allowed to say that? No? Okay.
Yeah. Why not? It's quite tame for this group.
Yeah. I love the fact when the Doctor goes up to Adam's little sort of shed full of stuff that he's going through these items and says one of them's a hairdryer, and then he finds his gun,
yes.
which is very similar to the one that Rose uses in Stolen Earth, but isn't. Anyway.
Master.
What?
There were a number of jokes that they wrote for this that all got dropped. That one survived all 12 rewrites.
What, the hairdryer one?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so meanwhile, the Doctor and Dalek end up on another level. The Dalek decides to shoot the ceiling, and so it can experience a bit of sunlight. Opens up all its little doors, which was at the time it was a very cool graphic. And just basks in a bit of sunbathing, just as the Doctor turns up with sort of evil, sort of menacing, sort of maniacal. What is it, Deb?
Maniacal.
That's the one. Eyes, and he's determined to end the Dalek
Well, the thing is with this as well, the Time War is like still fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think he actually killed any Daleks sort of face to face in the Time War, but I may be wrong because I haven't watched or listened to any of the episodes. Anyway, and after all this, I must save you stuff, it's actually Rose that gives the order to let the Dalek kill itself, which was done in a very cool way. It sort of floats up in the air and all the little baubles come off and it goes into little balls.
Still looks good.
And it
Force field. That was fantastic. When they came away, the first time I saw that years ago, it was like, ooh.
Indeed.
Can you believe that this story is 16 years old?
I can't, but it's not. It hasn't really aged in regards for me personally.
Yep.
You can see a little bit of sort of CGI obviousness to a certain degree, but it's not that bad. I know, obviously, if they converted it to HD, you might find it or see it a bit more, but I still think it
I'm sure Kirsty or Roberts got it on Blu-ray. I don't.
But it was.
You don't have this one on Blu-ray.
But it hasn't been upgraded, has it? Have they upgraded it to HD?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh well, I'd like to see that. Anyway, so after that point,
I watched DVD version, although I could have watched it on HBO Max, but I didn't.
I watched it on iPlayer, and now I'm using my copy from iTunes, which I own virtually every Doctor Who story on iTunes. It's very handy to be able to access it that way, because you get all the Doctor Who confidentials and all stuff like that. Anyway, and the current confidentials, which you only get with a season pass. I'm just saying.
Oh, do you have? Okay, question.
Magic?
Do you have?
Sorry, Magic was licking his paw. I have what?
The full confidentials, because the DVD set that I have has
the cut downs.
They're cut downs, which I hate.
The cut downs, but I don't know if the full ones are on some of it. I know that the more recent series, 13th Doctor ones, I don't know if they still do them, but they call them Doctor Who extras. So they do an extra for each story. I haven't actually checked. I bought the series pass for the last 3 Doctor Who's, although I haven't done this year. I'm just checking through to see if there is any extras. Yeah, so they got for instance.
I am still kicking myself because way back when I first acquired the first season series. I'm sorry. I had all the full length confidentials.
No, I did as well. I had them on. I recorded off the telly.
I have no idea where they are.
Well, I forgot that I had them.
It was a long time ago.
I got rid of my spindle of discs that I used when I recorded it off the telly. Used my DVD recorder. They would have been on those. Obviously, I only realised that after I got rid of them that they're on there. I'm pretty sure the DVD set had the cut downs. But for example, Ghost Monument has Look Closer, the Ghost Monument. So 13th Doctor does have, it's like there's a look closer of the Battle of Ranskow Avkolos. There's, I don't think they have on there. There's a few extras on it. Series 11 highlights. Oh yeah, the closer look Spyfall. Closer look at your favourite, all from 55. So yeah, if, the season pass you get through that I personally bought. All right, thank you. The season pass that I personally bought through iTunes, you do get a lot of very useful extras. Just saying, not advertising iTunes as a medium for buying stuff, but anybody who doesn't want the extra stuff, it's got I actually feel that the season pass is actually good value for money. From iTunes. Right then, back to Doctor Who. Yeah, so the Dalek has been destroyed itself, and then the curly-haired lady decided she's going to take over Van Straten and gets him arrested and gets his mind wiped and gets him dumped on a street corner.
And they're going to pour cement into his complex, aren't they?
Yep. That would be a lot of cement.
Yep, it would be. I'll tell that cat to shut up. And then Adam manages to wangle a ride in the TARDIS. End of story.
Master, apparently Bruno, what's his name?
Bruno Langley.
The actor did not know that the TARDIS is supposed to be bigger on the inside.
Right.
What? And he's on Doctor Who?
Yeah. Yep. So his reactions are kind of... listen to the commentary. He's interesting. He's on the commentary.
Probably won't listen to the commentary because I've moved on from this story now. After these few comments I'm going to say about this particular story, this is absolute brilliance, and I've told Robert Sherman himself, brilliance. Certainly one of the best Doctor Who stories of all time. Not least because it gives brand new gravitas to the Daleks themselves, or the Dalek. Who look magnificent. I've obviously got to give the designers a bit of.
These are my favourite Daleks.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Style. Yeah.
It's and also to a certain extent, this was the Blink episode of Series 1 in regards to really gaining interest in Doctor Who. And I feel that a lot of people who weren't Doctor Who fans would have watched this because they knew a Dalek was going to be in it, curious to see how they were going to be portrayed, finding it was absolutely magnificent, and just furthermore enhancing the interest in this particular new series of Doctor Who. So I haven't really got, it's very rare for me, I haven't got a bad word for this one. It's absolute brilliance. And most of the time I've got a bad word for my favourite stories, but there really isn't anything bad about this. It's just so good. What did you think about it, Debbie?
Agree, the same. This when this first came out, this was just brilliant. It's everything I wanted in a Dalek story. It's such a great way to introduce the new viewers and new generation of Whovians who fell in love and were also terrified of the Daleks because of just the same reason we were as kids. I mean, I will hide behind a cushion because you can't get behind our sofa, but the Daleks are just brilliant, and you hear their voice, you see them, your goosebumps rise. You know, it's just it will be eternal even after the Teletubby Daleks of Matt Smith's tenure. The Daleks are still, for me, one of the most terrifying creatures. But to have one this damaged, this alone, just as a mirror to hold up to the Doctor, is just sumptuously written. I really do enjoy the balance between them. The fact, that he would make a good Dalek, quote, and it's just tremendous that it sort of holds a mirror up to what the Doctor has become, obviously through the time in which we investigate more in Big Finish and things like that. It just shows you that the depth of the writing and the depth of the character. I mean, we all know there's hundreds of years of history, and by the end of where we are now, it's tens of thousands of years of history. It's a huge life that the Doctor has, but he is alone, and to be alone for a Dalek without orders is just inconceivable. But to be alone for the Doctor and to make friends, and obviously they leave with Adam as well, it's just like saying, well, yeah, but I can move on, I can adapt to what I need to be. This is why I'm still here. And I love that as a message. I think the acting in this is brilliant. I love Van Straten. He's so dastardly. It's brilliant. And the guy torturing the Dalek gets his just desserts. And for once, you're cheering for a Dalek rather than not for the Dalek because of the way he's been treated. And I find the music's brilliant through this as well. Obviously, the Bad Wolf references. Isla is watching out for every single Bad Wolf reference because I've basically told her to, but And I just think this is great, and it spawned just absolutely amazing Daleks. It was just the rest of this arc is just brilliant, and these are my favourite model Daleks, and they seem to be the only ones I've got around the house, apart from a couple.
I've got a couple of classic ones. Yeah.
But other than that, I've waffled on enough. But this is definitely up there as this is my Blink episode from this series, and this is just wonderful storytelling.
Thank you. I will say, in regards to, you said about the fear of the Daleks. I must admit, when I was a child, I used to enjoy Dalek stories, but didn't really find them frightening. And I can see why the original Dalek story was, in '63 was particularly, scary for the time. But this is the first time I felt the Daleks were menacing. This particular story, this particular Dalek was, and they really brought that across well. And anybody who wasn't a long-term Doctor Who fan would have. This is their sort of.
It was frightening. It was frightening back when I was little. I think it just was. I was at that age where just it ticked all the boxes of being a night terror.
And the other thing,
I can remember watching Remembrance first time round and things
Yeah.
like that. It's being utterly
Remembrance was okay, but it's still, I wasn't really sort of thinking, oh, these Daleks are really scary. I thought they were cool, but I didn't think they were the scary.
They're incredibly cool. They are like definitive. But I cannot believe that about 4 or 5 months ago we were just discussing the fact that they've been overdone, because they have.
Mm. But I will say, the other thing I found cool, and I haven't seen a lot since, was the fact that the middle part of the Dalek turned to shoot behind it, and that thing.
Yes.
They haven't really used that a lot since then, and that was such a cool feature.
They did in the last one, didn't they, with Jodie?
They did they? Good.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, that's good. Anyway, and my 18-inch Dalek does that. She's really cool, but I don't actually push it. Let's just say.
Sorry, that sounded incredibly naughty.
Anyway, Robert Vance Jr. says roast beef sandwiches, yum.
I guess I don't have an opinion. Okay.
What's that?
No, he's just reading the commentary. You'll get it. Don't worry.
Well, people like to know that I'm actually paying attention to what they're writing. I've got very itchy ears and nose this evening, so apologies for that. Let's go on then, Kirby. What did you think of it?
Brilliant.
What?
Brilliant.
Oh. So uncomfortable.
This one, I remember when I first saw this one, and I was just blown away.
And you survived?
Nearly a perfect story. I don't like the scenes of the Doctor being tortured, but watching it this time through it, it's part of the story. Now, as I told you last time, Fred did not want to even watch the two Slitheen stories. She was really keen to see this one again, because this is one of her favorite stories. And we were even talking about it this morning when I was taking her down to the Korean market. She loves this one as well. By the way, a few interesting things. This is the first televised Dalek story not to actually have Davros in it since Death to the Daleks.
Okay.
And also...
I didn't know that. Oh, well done, Kirby.
This is, although Davros was mentioned, but not by name.
Yes.
But this is also the first story since Death to the Daleks that wasn't something of the Daleks.
Well, it couldn't be Dalek of the Dalek, could it? That wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
It could be Dalek of Daleks.
But, yeah, fantastic, if I may quote the Doctor.
Thank you, Kirby. Right then, Mary, what did you think? Oh, she's not here.
And she still hasn't responded, so I have no
I hope
idea
she's okay.
She could be out of electric, not electric. You know, she could be experiencing trouble with her internet. She does from time to time.
Maybe either she needs to put a dollar in the meter for the electric, or maybe the sort of Wanda's sort of big dome thing that's absorbing parts into her.
Well, it was this time last year that she had a couple of times where she couldn't come on because the internet had gone down because of weather.
No, I thought it was more fun to think that she's now in the world of WandaVision. She'd actually fit it quite well.
Yes, she would. She'd be wonderful in WandaVision.
Well, she would. Okay. Well, I'll do the Mary bit because we can't really be without her. So. So what did you think about it then, Mary? Absolute rubbish! The worst Doctor Who story I've ever seen. The acting is terrible, and the Dalek looks really fake. A terrible, terrible story. Thank you, Mary.
I bet she likes this one.
I'm sure she likes this one.
Right then. So, have you?
The last time we discussed this, it was Adam, me, Reese, Alicia, Isabella, and Ben.
Splendid. Right then, feedback, Kirby, feedback. Which obviously we start with your request.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Oh,
I was trying to update the
39
spreadsheet.
minutes.
No.
Why do you need to update the spreadsheet now?
Because he does that while we're usually talking, but when there's only 3 of us on, we need filler.
Exactly. Okay. Robert Wentz Jr. says, My review of Dalek by Rob Sherman based on Jubilee, a Sixth Doctor story. It shows what a single Dalek can do. In its weakened state, not much, but add DNA from Rose, it can repair itself and do damage. I wonder what the damage roll is for. We get the new companion, Adam, who is gone in the next episode for being selfish.
Don't put spoilers in. I haven't seen that episode. Right, I'm just going to walk around. My knees hurting because of this bloody chair. Carry on.
Very simple setup with the underground bunker and very sad at the end. The music is the same that is used in one of my favorites, Father's Day. I wonder how Kirsty liked it in being a Sixth Doctor story. Did it work with the Ninth Doctor and Rose? My rating, 4 out of 5, one of the best. Oh, something which isn't a regular Ian Kirk script.
Well,
Ian says,
right.
Why was Van Staden so sure the creature could talk? He knew it could scream, but that seems a bit flimsy.
It's a science fiction fancy TV show.
Robert Wins Jr. says, I kind of wonder if he was the original owner. Maybe there was someone before him that was in charge of the bunker.
Well, it looks like it the way that she just brushed him to one side afterwards.
I have a feeling that he brushed someone else to one side, and the person before him brushed someone else to one side.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Like a never-ending stream of people just getting fed up of their shit and going, oh, sorry.
Did you swear on my show again?
I believe I read that that woman's character's name is Goddard. I believe that's a relative of Robert Sherman. Possibly his wife has that name.
Okay, I couldn't say one way or another.
Neil James says, Dalek, sorry, but I really don't like this one.
What?
As much as most fans seem to. Sacrilege.
Yeah, blasphemy.
Oh, but that's what it's all about, isn't it?
I find
their own opinion.
I find the characters too stereotypical, the set's too drab, and the music too over the top. I don't like Adam at all.
How dare you!
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
like
that's not.
Adam.
Or Goddard, or the irritating Dalek. Van Staden's conclusion is dumb and the SWAT team are dull. Okay. But despite all my moaning, I
SWAT
still...
team are dead.
Yeah.
Yes, I do still enjoy parts of the story. I love the cyberhead in the museum, and the sucker me to death moment still makes me laugh. Billy Piper's performance is terrific, and the scenes of the Doctor verbal sparring with Van Staden work really well. The Dalek race are, of course, iconic, and it is very cool to just have a solo Dalek causing carnage. For me, Dalek misses the fun and adventure of the previous 4 stories of Eccleston's run, but the knowledge that there's an outstandingly good Dalek story still to come in this series makes me very happy. 3 stars out of 5. How do we know that there's another Dalek story?
Oh, I don't know.
Spoilers!
Spoilers!
Yeah, spoilers after all this time.
Robert Wynn says this one can really go one way or the other for people. I don't know. I've never seen someone have a slightly negative review.
Well, you have now.
Yeah, I have now.
Right, so...
Robert left...
Robert's, yeah, you can... Debbie can read that one, because that'll give your little vocal cords a bit of a...
Where are we at? I'm not looking at that. I was waiting for you to send me stuff.
I was hoping Debbie could get the other one.
Oh, go on then. Obviously, Kirby wants to read it, Deb. You can have the other one.
I haven't even got where you're at, so I'm having to find very
No. Kirby wants to read Robert's feedback, so you let Kirby read it. I'm not going to...
Debbie gets Alan T. Butcher.
I beg your pardon?
Robert says, my feedback for Dalek. Ecclescake's Doctor Who is quite fresh to go back to. There's so much I've forgotten. Everything seems to get a warm golden glow. Nice to have an episode that shows just how much trouble one Dalek can cause. As Matthew will tell you, this story really started as a Big Finish audio jubilee.
Yes.
I mentioned it too. Of course, it changed for the small screen. One thing that bugged me at the time is that so many people think that this was when we can see a Dalek go up the stairs. We obviously saw that in Remembrance.
Yes.
The Doctor could have told Rose and company that they can do that. We also see a Dalek levitate in Revelation of the Daleks as well, so there's Old Hat. I don't know quite how I feel about seeing the actual mutant inside. Sometimes I think some things should be left to the imagination. Otherwise, I thought it was a great setup for wanting to see more of the Daleks. It's a shame we haven't seen Rob Sherman write more for TV Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to next week's story. And I gotta disagree there. We've seen the mutant in the classic series at
We saw it
least
loads
3
of times in the classic series, especially Peter Davidson. That was when they really started getting out all the gross-looking stuff.
Yeah, and it didn't do
Yeah.
well. Certainly in
Yeah,
the
and we
Davison era, it
saw
didn't look
one
too different.
dying in Five Doctors, the
Yeah.
Davison era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could see the claw in the very first Dalek story when they covered it in a blanket.
And it's mutated in several, and that's a benefit of it being a mutant. You can explain away its changes through mutations. Just saying.
Exactly, cutting out the bits it still doesn't need, and depending on how it was made. Because remember, Davros has remade the race of them a couple of times. So
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Right, is that it? Oh, therefore we have some of this.
Well, good evening, 20 megabytes. It's Andy Dunn here. It's
Very quietly.
About 5:45
Hello, Andy Dunn.
running about to have my weekly dip and read the sports pages. Got a nice give aside here. Boston like art. Anyway, I watched Dalek yesterday. By golly, it's good, isn't it? I mean, I think it just shows how scary the Dalek can be just by himself and what he can do and the way he gets himself out.
All day.
Suppose, Daleks are they sexless? I don't know. No, quite. I'm not sure what that was, but there we go. But no, it's the way the Dalek things like the way it got out of the cell because it absorbed some of Rose's DNA. Got himself that. Are you going to suck him to death? He said. He certainly did that. The way he killed a lot of troops by setting off the water system and electrocuting them all. I think they realised that. Although, at one point, these soldiers, they'd have been wearing rubber boots. I suppose probably there's electricity conducts this way, so they wear clothing as well, so that's probably why that happened. But I think what the best thing here is this shows the Dalek and the Doctor both in total isolation. And really, that great phrase, you would make a good Dalek, is absolute cracker, isn't it? Because he would, the Doctor. Because he's so used, really, to being alone. He does have companions, but they're ephemeral, aren't they? They come and go. He's the only constant, and he's going to outlive them all. I think he has commented this in the past, the fact that, he will live for hundreds and thousands of years. His companions will live for a few decades, and that's it. But you start to see the pain the Doctor's gone through with the Time War, finding more about it. You watch them all burn. Dalek called him a coward. Was he the coward? We don't know. I think we still don't really know what happened in the Time War and how it ended. I know we have got the Day of the Doctor and the fact that he didn't actually do this, but was he the coward? I don't think he was, no. But it's the Doctor is really being able to look into himself, and the similarity with the two, aloneness, always going to be alone. The Dalek can't function without orders, has to get Rose even, toward himself to kill himself. And the Doctor, I mean, you can see the Doctor could almost be like that. In these days when we're much more aware of mental health issues, the Doctor could be like that. Someone who's almost paranoid schizophrenic at times, isn't he? The way he behaves. She, of course, no, we do have a female Doctor. But going back to the story, it's going to be one of the all-time classics. This it really is. It's probably one of the best ones that Eccleston ever did. I mean, not a great choice there, or a great number to choose from. There are a great choice, but it's just showing that the power of his acting and the power of the script, and it was so well written. I mean, there were some duffers like, Van Straten was a bit too comic. I like God like that. I must admit, the way she took over at the end, and just dumping me somebody in the S rather than begin there as we had at the beginning, and of course we had Adam as well.
What?
Not you, of course, mate.
Oh.
Never say that to you. Don't take that away. But anyway, this is one that it's a classic. It really is. Anyway, be seeing you.
Thanks, and that's Andy Nunny, everybody.
Thank you, Andy.
This is New Who, not Classic Who.
Well, it's kind of classic now.
It is now, it is classic, yeah.
16 years.
Now I'm going to update the. I'm going to update the spreadsheet now.
Okay.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
I'm not a cat. There is some sort of filter. Dalek by Robert Shearman. I think people should not keep exotic pets. As usual, the script carefully hides the identity of the creature that the title has already revealed. The story had a long and varied development. It started as a Big Finish audio drama called Jubilee. It went through many revisions, including one with a new creature, in case they could not get permission to use a Dalek. There was one where the collector was clearly Bill Gates. After 4 adventures, Rose considers herself a seasoned traveller and is condescending to Adam when he says the galaxy could be full of aliens. At the end, we get a new companion called Adam.
Yeah.
Nice name.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Well, my mum thought it was anyway.
He also has a PS in the comments. I wish I had said that Novus Hain had been using the computer before me.
I look forward to my Christmas present, Debbie.
It's sat here right next to me.
Master.
I've got to give it to you. You'll probably get it by next.
I've still got last year's one. That I'm not. Look, it's still here. Look in its little bubble wrap thingy. So still waiting for action. There you go.
Master.
Yes.
Master. It was interesting listening to you and Alicia 9 years ago, almost exactly 9 years ago, talking about Dalek, and you were trying to get her to remember the name of the new two-story companion.
No. Yes.
And that started with an A, and she couldn't remember.
That doesn't surprise me.
She was good.
She was good.
Those.
Yes, it's just she managed.
Adam, I think you've got Isla coming up on the inside. She's determined to join us eventually, but it is coinciding with bedtime when we record.
Sorry.
Yes, she's determined to be the new Izzy, she said.
All right then, Debbie, you've got some blurb from a certain tea butcher.
It's been a while. Do forgive me, Alan, if it goes tits up, but that's traditional.
You swore again on my show.
Pardon?
Nothing, I'm just being facetious.
Oh, fair enough. Like usual then. The Museum of the Cybermen, or didn't something a bit like this happen to the Sixth Doctor? Dear 20 Megabyters. Dalek is, of course, a closely studied exhibition of post-traumatic stress disorder, obviously. It should be noted that while some might point out that the Dalek here doesn't seem to have the room inside that they did previously, when people flipped open their lids and jumped inside, we should recognise they were also restricted to only moving on charged metal floors at 1.2 and could be defeated by non-conductive tape.
Mm.
We also learn that the Doctor killed all the Daleks and the Time Lords except this one and himself. He didn't really. All in all, Dalek is an exceptional reintroduction for the Daleks by a very remarkable writer, brilliant engaged to use the paring down of the Doctor's greatest enemy to its weakest point to counterpoint its underlying strength and menace. Furthermore, we now see the reason for the damaged Doctor, which has until now been a little worrying in the Ninth Doctor's characterisation, and it turns out to be both solid and justified. Christopher Eccleston's performance is also exceptional, both in conveying the Doctor's pathos and in convincing us of the potency of the Dalek itself. The production also shows off the Dalek's cleverly reinvented capabilities so well that it is impossible to mind that most of them are previously unseen. Nobody in this is in any way effective against the Dalek, which seals its danger in our minds, and only Rose's compassion can be seen as in any way a positive in the action. Challengingly, however, that compassion is also responsible for reigniting the Dalek's capacity to kill almost everybody involved. It is clear the Doctor is seriously affected by his experiences whilst off air, and is not the person he was. This story both re-established Doctor Who in the minds of anyone who was still unsure about the new series, and held the prospect that the Doctor we knew was changed perhaps forever, a remarkable feat which could have made us despair, but definitely didn't. This story is perhaps 3 minutes and 6 seconds too short, as who would not have liked to see the Daleks sing the Beatles song Here Comes the Sun? Okay, I'm not going to be able to say this next bit properly because I never can, and even Simon Pegg can't properly anyway. Next up, Doctor Who and the mighty Jagrafess of the Holy Hadridic Maxarodenfo, or this companion Adam, he's a bit like Adric but without the charm. Those are my thoughts. Alan T. Butcher.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. Right. Sorry, I just got slightly distracted then.
Why?
Well, I guess
Is
who's
there a
not
game
on the...
or something?
No, what?
Is there a game on or something? It's what normally distracts you.
No. I'm busy behind the scenes. I'm producing and presenting this show. I'm multitasking. I never get any
I'm multitasking
appreciation
too.
for such things.
Kirby hasn't got his chair to lean back against, so he's a bit grumpy.
Yeah. Neil James says, sorry I'm late, guys. Missed you all last week. Did I get my review to you in time?
Did he, Adam?
We weren't on last week, so that's really, I don't know. I can't remember. How did he say? I just send you a review in, Neil. I don't know whether I got anything. Just like I say, where we weren't on last week, that's rather confused me. It doesn't take a lot, to be fair. But in the meantime, while you're working that one out, Neil...
Basically, if it's never read out or anything, just send it again.
Yeah. While you're working that one out, Neil, Mary's not on the show this week, so... It's back! Right, to keep the viewers and listeners awake, we're going to limit the amount of questions we have this week to 6 each. No jokers, but 2 points per correct answer. And if you get it, you have to pass it or get it wrong. It goes to the opposing player as a 1 point option. And
I was thinking I was going to have to dig out my little thing that reminds me to use my joker. Oh, well.
There's no jokers? I'm pretty sure I just said that, but
yes,
no
you
jokers.
Did just say that.
No jokers. Just plain quiz.
My brain doesn't work.
I don't give a tinker's cuss.
Kirby for the win.
No.
Oh, here we go. Right, hang on. Let's just take. I'm just adjusting the scorecard, which has got. I just got to dust off.
What are these coming from? This story?
Trivial Pursuit. Delete. Yeah. Right.
Oh,
now that was your fault. I deleted too many things off the scorecard. Hang on. Let's delete that one. Delete. Right, no jokers. So 0 and 0 and 0. Nobody's had any points deducted, which is very unusual for this show. I've just got to change the name Ian to Debbie. So it's the transatlantic Doctor Who quiz. I.e., you won't get this one. Right then. So, question number 1, because Debbie's at the top of the list, goes to Debbie, and it is this. What powerful cosmic device does the White Guardian send the 4th Doctor on an epic quest to find the six segments of?
I only ever called it the tap top. Oh,
what?
Doesn't that count? That's all we referred to it as.
Oh.
Sorry, what?
No idea.
You don't know, therefore I get an opportunity to dust off this particular sound effect. Kirby?
The key to time.
It was a tricky one, that, wasn't it, Kirby?
Yes.
A tricky one. Right then.
Shut up.
Kirby.
I win.
Kirby.
Kirby wins.
Master.
On what planet does the 5th Doctor contract spectoxemia and sacrifice his life for Peri? Now you have to get this correct, as it states on the card. So carry on. It's gone very quiet all of a sudden.
It's minor. It's minor. What's the name of the darn story?
Oh dear.
This hurts. I know this one somewhere.
It's the minor planet, but I forgot the name of the darn story. Forget it.
I like playing this particular piece of music. Oh, never mind. I can't play it all. Yes, so in case... do you know it, Debbie, by the way?
No.
Debbie, do you know it?
Yeah, I said no.
Oh, okay, in that case. Now it's pointing to the bonus spot. Woohoo.
What was it then?
It's Androzani Minor.
Androzani Minor.
Oh, for God's sake.
So,
I didn't look it up, It came to me as we were talking.
Right, so the bonus pot question, I'll get a different card for that, but it's the same subject. What age was the Master when he was forced to stare into the untempered schism?
I think I know.
Go on then.
Is it 8? Yes!
I didn't know, so good.
Yes. So that equalises the scores. Right then, so next question goes to Debbie.
Yes.
Oh, I've got the card upside down. Right. What was the name of the Silurian Madame Vastra... Sorry, I'll start again. What was the name of Silurian Madame Vastra's human wife?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
why do I never know this?
Mm.
You think I know all the name of the patronistic gang? You think it's Jenny? Is it Jenny?
Oh,
No.
God, I thought you said you didn't know it, and I had my
Yeah,
point
you
right.
said you didn't know.
I said I don't know. I'm pretty sure I don't
Yes,
know.
it was
Is it
Jenny.
Because I think
Yes,
that's
it
the
was
name
Jenny.
Of my daughter as well, but I'm not sure is what I was
Yes,
saying.
it is.
It
Both,
is Jenny,
Both characters
yes.
have the name Jenny.
Well, there you go then. Well, I got
I
it
was
right.
going to
though.
point that out.
Were you? You
Yeah,
missed out there,
pointed
didn't you?
out.
Right then, Kirby.
I got it right though.
You did get it right. Yeah.
Yes.
With what intergalactic rogue does Mel Bush decide to travel the universe, leaving the Seventh Doctor with a new companion?
Oh.
R? No, it's not R.
Say what?
What?
Intergalactic rogue.
Rogue. I thought you said road. I'm going, road? Glitz.
Well, yeah, I need the full name. It's,
Something along Glitz.
beg your pardon?
Something along.
No, it needs to say what it says on the card. That's not what it says on the card. Oh dear.
Sabalon Glitz.
Pardon?
I know it
Did you
was.
just Wikipedia?
These
Oh
things
yeah, go on
have to
then.
make
All
their way
right.
through my brain.
Yeah, okay, we'll give you that one. Yes, Sabalom Glitz was indeed the answer.
I've got to rewrite the entire universe and expand the hex.
Right.
Okay. Alan T. Butcher says, no jokers, you say, and then they get those questions wrong. After that, they are both jokers, surely. Well, quite right, Alan. Right then.
Thanks, Alan.
Right, it was that question. So it's Debbie now. It's still level.
Yes.
I don't want to let Alan down. I feel like I am now.
Debbie, in The Impossible Planet, what was K32 Gem 5 better known as?
K32 what?
Oh, good grief. Right. What was K37 Gem 5 in The Impossible Planet? What was K37 Gem 5 better known as? Pardon?
An ood?
Nope. What's his name again? Kirby. What was the answer to that one?
It's a black hole.
Is the correct answer. Okay, so there's a point in the bonus pot. Oh no, it's Kirby's question first. Beg your pardon.
Yes.
Kirby's question. This is your question. In which Christmas story do the 12th and 1st Doctors accept their regenerations? In which Christmas story do the 12th...
I don't remember the name of it.
You
I'm
can't
sorry.
remember the name with it. I'm sorry, I don't think that is the title, so I'm going to have to play that. Oh. Debbie?
And see, if I had my my spreadsheet open, I could have looked it up secretly, but nope.
Debbie?
I don't know.
Oh dear. So that gets
Last
another...
Christmas?
No, it was twice upon
a time.
Twice upon
We'd have to
a
get the
time.
words out. Yes, it was twice upon a time. Yes, there's another point in the bonus pot. Right then. That's 3 points in the bonus pot because suddenly you've become rubbish. That's strange. So, bonus pot question. I resort to my bonus pot question card, which is over here. And here it comes. What was the name of Edwin Bracewell's old flame who he set out to seek after helping the Doctor defeat the Daleks? What was the name of Edwin Bracewell's old flame who he set out to seek after helping the Doctor defeat the Daleks?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Whose story is this? Whose question
It's
is
a
this?
bonus pot.
I know.
Go on then, go on.
Dora Bell. Dora Bell? One
That'll do.
word, is it, or two? Dora Bell.
Ding dong.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, that'll do.
Ding dong.
What do you mean, ding dong? Ah, very funny, Kirby. Oh, go on then. You don't get a point for that. You just get a ding. Right, so that was a bonus pot question. We move swiftly back to the normal questions. So I'll go back to Debbie.
Normal?
What?
Normal?
Yeah,
Normal
the questions that aren't bonus pot questions. The court scores are 6-4 to
If these
Debbie.
were normal questions, they would be on Dalek instead of...
Shut up. Right then. Debbie.
Yes.
What 1928 ballet work by Ravel was Toby Zed listening to when the beast infiltrated his mind while he was working on the ancient Velatino inscriptions?
Oh my god. I'm just running through ballets here. I don't know, Swan Lake?
Well, I'm afraid that's going to be a... Oh, it's not playing. Oh, yeah. Try again. That's better. Nope. Kirby?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, we'll do this again then. The answer was Bolero. The clue was actually in the question. But there you go. What can I say?
Why say the question again?
What? 1992 by Ravel. I mean, Ravel's Bolero. That was the clue, was it not?
He wrote other things.
He wrote other things.
Well, it was going to be... Oh, never mind. That's the one I would have come up with. Right, Kirby. In which year did the flood infiltrate Bowie Base 1?
Don't know.
It says flood. You don't know?
I don't know.
In that case... Debbie?
It was 2059. That was the year they all died, wasn't it?
Woohoo!
I only watched that one a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
No, so you had an advantage.
Yeah, I call that an advantage. Yeah.
Wow.
I should have remembered that one, but no.
Yeah, I think you probably should. Bonus question, 3 points. Here it comes. In Midnight, what is Dee writing a thesis about? It's all gone quiet over there. It's all gone quiet over there.
All I remember about Midnight, isn't that the one where Merlin is a guest star?
Yeah, it's not going to be the answer to the question, though, is it?
I know.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, as you lot don't know, and I'm going to play this, it's the
That's
Lost
right.
Moon of Poosh. Lost Moon of
The
Poosh.
one that's vanished, yeah.
So there's still 3 points in the bonus pot as we move back to the normal questions. Debbie?
Yes.
There's only a few left, by the way, for those who are getting bored, Mary. What does the GI in Dr. Simeon's GI Institute stand for? Debbie?
What does the GI
Yes.
stand for? And you said General Institute, and I was going to go for General Institute.
Kirby?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Make it easy for me. The answer was Great Intelligence. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, the sound effect
I
was a
should
bit
have
delayed.
known that.
We both should have known that one.
Yep, should have. So, Kirby,
Master.
this is your question. Where does the 10th Doctor trap Sister of Mine of the Family of Blood?
I'm going to guess in the mirror.
Yeah. Not quite. It's every mirror, isn't
Oh,
it?
that'll do. Yeah, so it says into every existing mirror. That's basically
Yes.
what Kirby said to a degree. Right then.
Yeah, what you said.
Right, so that narrows the scores down a bit as we move to a bonus pot question, which is 5 points now on the bonus pot.
Oh, no.
Right, the 11th Doctor nicknames River Song Mrs. Robinson after a character in which 1960s...
I know.
Yes, Debbie?
The Graduate.
5 points to Debbie. Well done.
Debbie
right,
wins.
Forever the optimist, Kirby. Right then, Debbie.
Yes.
Is it one? Hang on, I've got which ones was yours now? Right, this is yours. Okay, your last conventional question is this. Which children's TV show about litter-collecting creatures did Bernard Cribbins, a.k.a. Wilfred Mott, do the voiceover for?
Not fair.
The Wombles.
See, not fair.
Why is it not fair?
Because I had no idea.
Well, she got it right anyway, so it wouldn't make any difference. Right then, Kirby.
But she's actually seen it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you can see it on YouTube. And they made a new one, didn't they, which didn't have Bernard Cribbins in it. Right then, Kirby,
Master?
which ex-James Bond played the Lord President of Gallifrey in The End of Time? Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, or Piers
Timothy
Brosnan?
Dalton, come on.
And there's you moaning about the ease of my last question. Come on.
It doesn't actually say Timothy Dalton come on here, but as you had the Timothy Dalton part of the answer, I allowed it. And so there we go. The
I
final,
could have gone Joker.
final scores in the return of You Won't Get This One are in second place, Kirby, with 8 points, and the winner, once again, Smarty Pants Debbie, with 14. Wasn't it nice to have that quiz back?
Yes, you can have it more often.
Not usually enough time. What else we got?
Yeah, I just updated. The spreadsheet still has a quiz winner column. It's just now updated.
Thank you. Robert Vance Jr. says, "Once upon a time, Lord," and then he says, "Lol, got it wrong anyway." Right then, we have a bit of news about the sponsorship of the show, which allows me to segue to whowon.co.uk.
So whowon.co.uk?
Now, I sent some emails out, because obviously during 2020 I didn't ask for any sponsorship money for the long-term sponsors of the show because of COVID and stuff. Obviously, Heroes are a new sponsor and they paid their fee, and very happy for it. So I sent an email out to Lavazzi and to Who Won saying, well, I didn't ask for it last year, so would you like to carry on sponsoring the show? Lavazzi said as long as the price hasn't gone up, and Who Won sent 2 years worth.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I wasn't actually asking for 2 years worth, which is always a benefit. So basically, he's back paid me for last year as well, which is very nice. So thanks, Nick. He said this is going quite well during lockdown, so at least it's going around well for some people. So I'm delighted to actually. Sorry?
That is good to know.
It's just great to hear something positive from him, because he's had a hard time since the shop shut. But Who Won are still going strong, still sponsoring the show after all these years. And Doctor Who Magazine 561 is one of the things, like I keep banging on about, that if you're outside the UK, you can get this delivered to your door through the medium of post. Yes, they've got the Target book special.
Not with our postmaster.
Why?
We have the post here is kind of slow at the moment.
Well,
partly because of Texas.
Okay, but you can still get it.
Yeah.
There's also the Kairos ring, which is it's got Lalla Ward on the cover of this CD presentation, which is also out along with Revolution of the Daleks DVD. Coming soon. Fourth Doctor 10.1 Volume 1 and 10.2 Volume 2. Andrew Smith, a friend of the show, has been involved in writing at least one of those. Blazing Hour by James Kettle, another Fifth Doctor Big Finish drama. Then there's Colony of Fear, a Sixth Doctor Big Finish drama, all available in hard copy on CD. Crimson Horror by Mark Gatiss, The Book, the novel, which is actually presented in the old style Target way. Crown, it's a Torchwood story.
I need to get that one. I like Crimson Horror.
Yeah. Crown,
yes.
Featuring looks like the Prime Minister on it. What was the name? She was in there a couple of stories ago, wasn't she? What was the name of the Prime Minister and Doctor?
Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones does look like her. It's a very
You
small
know
picture.
who she is.
Yeah, Harriet Jones. Penelope Wilton. Looks like her anyway. It's a Torchwood story. And then Dalek, rather aptly, by Robert Sherman, who's obviously written the novel as well as the story. And Dalek Combat Training Manual. Well, that looks really cool. That's available on pre-order at £16.99. These are actually conventional books you can actually hold in your hand. Because I did offer my mother the possibility of having a Kindle, which, you know, she wanted a book voucher from Waterstone so she can actually get a proper book. And A Diary of River Song 8, joined by James Goss et al. That's a big finish story. And Pirate Planet by James Goss and Douglas Adams, the novel. Available very soon on from who1.co.uk.
Rather than a Kindle, I would suggest getting a Fire tablet, which has Kindle function
she
and
likes
does more.
paper books. She likes paper
Huh?
books. She likes paper books, Kirby.
So do I. I have a Kindle and I do prefer to read paper.
I have read
Use
stuff.
my Kindle for travelling, but obviously now I'm not travelling anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
I actually agree with you because I've got like 4 Fire tablets, but I don't read things on them.
And you can get these paper books through who1.co.uk. But I will say I have read books on my iPads, especially when I was researching, when I was still writing quiz books. And occasionally I do buy reference books, like books about birds. Obviously my books are available on both Amazon and iTunes, because my publishers don't do paper books for more recent publications anymore. Back to Doctor Who. Lavazzi have got a plethora of exciting Doctor Who themed products that you can wear. I probably haven't heard this because I haven't mentioned it on the show before, but you can get the 4th Doctor scarves from Lavazzi. There's also a slim pocket diary for 2021, which is a fairly new product, along with a knitted tie with a TARDIS. So that's really cool. I'd be tempted to get that if I was ever going to wear a tie again. Pandorica Open gloves, the phone case. It's TARDIS blue with an
I mine up
embossed
the phone
TARDIS.
case.
Nice, isn't it?
When I can eventually go back to work,
No.
there's quite a backlog of wish list.
The only thing that stopped me from getting that is that I like my phone cases to be fold over, sort of like wallet cases, so it protects. Because when I ever drop my phone, it's always going to land on the glass, isn't it? So that protects it that way. But and of course the 7th Doctor, Paisley hanky, and those other stuff. Go to lavazzi.co.uk. Well, not only you can sort of see lots of excellent merchandise for Doctor Who and Star Trek, but they sell some really good standard garments, and there's a brilliant blog and facility for fan fiction writers to contribute work to. Now, quite recently, in fact, iwheroes.co.uk did a box opening ceremony. I call it a box opening ceremony. It's more just a case of Rob getting the boxes that have just come in, announcing there's going to be an opening for them, and us getting all excited about what's going to be in the boxes. I recently have purchased a couple of items that came in one of these deliveries. I haven't picked them up yet. And what was it now? I can't remember what I bought. It was a new Freddie Mercury. So it was a Freddie Mercury with crown and cape.
Cool.
So both me and Izzy got one each of those. And I should have enough stamps on my loyalty card to get a free WandaVision figure. And there's so many really good WandaVision figures available now, and I really don't know which one I would pick.
I didn't know there were any WandaVision figures available.
I think I'd pick one of the black and white ones. They're quite iconic. So I think I'll pick a black and white WandaVision figure, if indeed I do have enough loyalty stamps on my card. I expect Izzy will probably get a bit jealous, but because I buy them, I'm claiming
I lost my loyalty stamp. It's somewhere around.
So go to iwheroes.co.uk. I've got a lovely range of products that aren't just Funko Pops on there. And also, they're not shipping abroad yet, but if you're in the UK, they'll ship to you. And join their Facebook page, which is Hero Pop Vinyls collectors, where you can watch Rob opening boxes and message him to say if you want him to ship elsewhere other than the UK. It might encourage them to input that facility to their website. So that's the sponsors this week. Doctor Who news.
I'm looking for some of those pop things for WandaVision.
Yeah.
God, I love WandaVision. Love it.
Have you seen any, Kirby?
What, WandaVision, all of it?
Yes.
No, not you. I'm talking about the pop vinyl.
No, I'm trying to look at them.
What, on
right
Isle of
now.
Wight Heroes?
Of course, I've seen.
My
I've seen
latest top
WandaVision.
finals are more supernatural stuff.
Go to iwheroes.co.uk and
Yes, I'm looking.
enter a search for WandaVision.
I'm looking.
Did you find anything?
Hang on.
I'd like to get a vision. That's the thing. Hang on. My life.
All right. Well, I'm
It
going to
would
look.
help if I could spell WandaVision.
Wanda, W-A-N-D-A,
Oh,
Vision.
those are nice. I like
You've
those.
seen them now. Very good. Right. Doctor Who news: Daleks and Matt Smith's Doctor join a Build-A-Bear range. A bit out of date, isn't it? So, Build-A-Bear Workshop and BBC Studios have today revealed new additions to their Doctor Who range, launching a brand new Dalek plush and 10th and 11th Doctor costumes. They're quite cool, actually. And the 13th, to add to the 13th, the picture has...
Yeah, but they're
the thing.
expensive. Very
They're expensive.
They are very expensive, and what does my daughter want for her birthday?
New Who Talk. Who Talk is back with a series from Phantom Publishing, providing new commentaries for Doctor Who stories. The first covers the often derided 1984 serial Good Dear Warriors of the Deep, the season opener of Peter Davison's last year as the Time Lords. It's nice to see patron, grandfather of the show, Toby Haydock, appearing in the photos. Ruby Curse. BBC Books have announced a new fiction novel to be released later this year. The Ruby Curse was a River Song Melody Malone mystery. Sounds cool if you like your books. Lethbridge Stewart updates. Some more Lethbridge Stewart stories are coming available. Fear Frequency, written by George Ivanoff. And Time Squared by Rick Cross. And then we arrive back at the stuff I talked about last time. So that's little bits have happened in the last couple of weeks.
Sorry, I've not been on for quite a while. I'm still struggling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, oh dear, I just dropped a load of stuff. Right then, so before we talk about what we've been watching recently on TV, because that's all we can watch when you're locked down, really, is
Well,
fine
it's
stuff.
on for the Unquiet Dad.
Hey?
She was on for Unquiet Dad.
Who was?
Debbie.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Yeah, but I'm sort of off on.
Off on,
Oh,
off.
I see.
Off on.
I've not been on properly for
Right then,
ages.
so, yes, what I have been doing quite a lot of over the last 18 years is doing family history. And there's my family scroll for the because it does actually go back beyond King Rollo, or Rollo, or whatever you want to call it.
Well,
But I don't want a piece of paper that's twice the length of this. But yeah, it's been quite a journey doing family research and finally finding a route back to 1066 and beyond. And then thinking, well, actually initially it was Deb's side, because she her research landed at Richard Edwards, who was the alleged illegitimate son of Henry VIII. But this has not been confirmed because he was illegitimate, and apparently in the family they thought it happened, but the historians say, well, how would Henry have got to where Agnes Hewitt lived, because it was only like 3 months after he had his jousting accident. But that was quite exciting in itself, but there's nothing to dispute the fact that she could be a descendant of Henry VIII. So I was getting a bit jealous of this, so I started going through all mine, and I suddenly found one route.
Get jealous.
One route back to the medieval.
Master?
Oh God! I thought I was talking quite an interesting subject then. But yes, go on. Then.
well, you know my favorite quote from 1066?
Well, that's probably
Ow.
something like ah.
Yeah,
No,
I was
it
going to
was-
say ow. The
Was
best
it,
cut.
oh,
What
ow,
do
me
you
eye.
think it is? The space helmet for a cow?
Oh God! I thought it was something like ow, me eye, or something like that. Anyway.
Ow, my eye.
No, I'm bringing things back to Doctor Who.
No, I'm not talking about Doctor Who at the moment. Anyway, so I was just
Well,
saying,
I was.
I decided I went down one route and found myself arriving. I just got tantalisingly close to about 1100, and then although the names of my ancestors seemed to be linked because they had things like D and L in them to nobility, there wasn't any way of tracing it back. So I went down another line, which basically a family living in Kent in the same house for about 500 years. And suddenly these sort of names, and I was sort of tracing a bit further, and suddenly it said this name. And I thought, I wonder who her parents are. And it came up with, I think it was King Edward III. I thought, okay, let's go back. Because last time this happened, I looked at it and it turned out that somebody put themselves as a an offspring from King Edward III, and the King Edward had never had a child called by that name. This person actually was listed amongst the children of King Edward III, so hallelujah. So anyway, I did that and that fixed it. And then I went down another line, which then merged with that line and ended back up at Edward III. So there was a couple of lines that...
You're kingly.
And then suddenly there was another one who was clearly a relative of another person who was related to it. So there's suddenly a loads and loads of roots back to the medieval times and the medieval kings. So I'm quite pleased about that. That means I'm related. I am related to Danny Dyer. So I'm absolutely thrilled to bits about that. And also, I'm Prince Charles is my 40th cousin. So I think that means I deserve a little bit of respect, and it might also explain my hairline. Not my ears. So yeah, it's been really thrilling.
All hail Prince Adam.
My mum looked really disappointed when it turned out this came down my dad's line of family, but I'm still investigating her side. It's not as easy to trace back because you have to hit somebody of noble background to have their family line trace back. So if you hit something like I say, a Darcy's, like on my wife's side, the Darcy's, it's a name that originates in Normandy, so that's fairly obvious, especially if it's a D'Arcy. Yeah, mine one's a Leclerc's, so Clerke, the Leclerc. So they become clerks and maybe more recently clerks. So and they all lived in the same house, and they were all sirs and barons and stuff like that. So still very interesting. And when you try and find stories about these people, I'm creating a document that sort of saves all the particular stories about these relatives. It's going to take blooming ages, but it's really, really good fun. So I just wanted to say that because so I could have an opportunity to boast about it.
Yay!
What else has been happening? Oh yeah, TV shows. I've got a bit of time left. We watched all the X-Men films now. They're really, really quite cool. Really quite enjoyed those. So they're out the way. So that rather sort of makes me understand why Izzy got...
Don't the X-Men films have Peter Maximoff in them?
They do. That's why Izzy got so excited when Pietro appeared. Of course, there could be a further explanation of that to come.
Yes, there will be.
Don't tell me, otherwise.
I hope you saw the post-credit scene.
I did, but don't say anything more. Thank you very much. Also, I've started watching Vikings because so many people have recommended it to me.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Not least because I'm related to them now, apparently. So watched episode 1.
So it was relative that I say space helmet for a cow.
To a degree, but they don't wear those. That's all.
I know.
A myth. What else have we watched? For car crash TV purposes, a series called Married at First Sight Australia, which, although it is quite addictive, it's really terrible. And the worst thing part of it is the ridiculous background music they put on it. It's like you watch an X-Men film which has more appropriate orchestral and dramatic background music, and then they put exactly the same style of music into a car crash reality TV show. But it's really it's really addictive.
It's a car crash reality TV show.
It's called Married at First Sight Australia.
But, I mean, what makes it a car crash reality?
It's terrible when you can't stop looking at it.
It's not. It's just really.
You go past the car crash, everyone slows down to have a look, and they shouldn't.
Yes, exactly. And also, and that's what
I mean, are they real car crashes?
Oh God.
No, Kirby. It's a phrase describing a show that she hasn't got a lot of intellectual, nonce to it. It's just people watching other people making fools of themselves, basically. There's no car crashing in it. It's just a car crash TV show, sort of. You know what I mean, Deb, don't you?
Yeah, I was just explaining it, but he wasn't listening to me.
Okay. There's also a program called Superstore on Netflix. It's very entertaining. And that's about it, really.
We've just been concentrating mainly on WandaVision, and what Isla's been watching the Marvel films in order. Well, because she's made her very curious, so we've been watching those.
Yeah, it does make you want to watch them again, to be fair.
I mean, I know she's nearly 11 and all that, but she watched Guardians of the Galaxy because she was like 8.
Oh, that's so cool. So
So,
good.
yeah. No biggie.
There's a couple of really good short shows on Netflix, new series that have come out, which are quite good. And there's loads of stuff I put in my to-watch list. And because of all this family history stuff, I've actually bunged a load of historical documentary series, which I didn't realise were on Prime, into my watch list. And they
There's
look
been
really,
some
really cool.
good history stuff, actually. I've been quite surprised about iPlayer, because BBC obviously haven't filmed a lot last year, but what they did film was really good and really interesting things, like access to all the castles of England, because there's nobody else walking around. They've been able to film at like the middle of the day and do all that sort of thing. It's been really interesting what they managed to churn out last year. But yeah, mostly Netflix has been an absolute saving grace.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been they put it up a little bit, but I think that's probably worth it. The other thing I've been thoroughly enjoying for sort of nostalgic reasons is the Grange Hill on BritBox. The first 4 series of Grange Hill is on there. Watching it again, some of the stuff's a bit risque because of they're trying to put on programs that where they're trying to put people off racism by using racist terms, which is quite, they're not allowed to do that now. But thankfully they didn't edit it out, because it's really important that people get to see what it was like at school in the 1970s, and that's exactly when I was at school, and it brings back so many memories. And me and Deb, it's not meant to be funny, but we sit there laughing out loud at some of the things that happened, what the kids got up to, and it's so charming. It's just wonderful to see Todd Carty as Tucker all those years ago, and see some quite well-known faces, starting their acting careers in it. So Grange Hill series 1 to 4 on BritBox.
Where isn't Alex Kingston in that?
She is, but it's a very fleeting role. She hasn't been in it yet. We've watched all of series 1. I've just started watching series 2, it's absolutely great. Great stuff.
Unfortunately, it's not on our BritBox. But
no, it is. It's very unfortunate because it's so charming, so good.
And I don't feel like magically crossing the pond the way that Kirsty does. I might do something that makes my account vanish or something.
Terry Miles, he's just said that sent feedback in on the 14th. Thank you, Terry. I can send that to Kirby to read out before we finish the show. Woohoo, Kirby!
Things I've been watching. Fred's been
not listening to you, Adam.
Fred's been sleeping a lot lately, so she and I tend to watch things together. Normally, when I'm watching stuff, it'll be with her. So, looks like I just got some messenger. Anyway,
listening.
It's a Valentine's message for you, Kirby.
We've been watching. We've been going through all the Star Wars films. Just finished watching Phantom Menace, which although she's seen it, she didn't remember it.
Rubbish.
And so we'll be doing Attack of the Clones the next couple of days.
Oh dear.
I know.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's amazing in that.
And we're also slowly going through Star Trek original series. Just watched Piece of the Action, and she was...
Oh, I've been watching that.
She was rolling on the floor laughing because of Kirk inventing the game Fizbin to trick the gangsters.
No, I've watched about the first 5 episodes of Series 1, and they're really, really good. Yeah. Right, Kirby, you've got some feedback to read. It's basically like a sort of Valentine's message from the Mileses.
Yes, I see that. Oh, look, a Dalek. That was unexpected. It took just 6 episodes of the new series of Doctor Who for them to appear. This also marks the first appearance of Bruno Langley as the new companion, Adam Mitchell.
Me.
The episode is set in Utah, USA in the year 2012 in a museum in an underground bunker owned by Henry Van Staden, Corey Johnson, a rich collector of alien artifacts. There's another obligatory mention of Bad Wolf. I mentioned that. I was obliged to, The Doctor and Rose encounter the museum's only living exhibit, It's a Dalek, which breaks loose and proceeds to start killing everyone in the bunker after repairing itself with Rose's help. Rose learns more of the Doctor's history and sees how damaged he is. He also shows how much he still hates the Daleks for the demise of his people and Gallifrey. What a great boss to work for, Van Staden. Didn't care if employees died as long as they didn't damage the casing of the Dalek. I've known a few bosses like that. Rose shows how gutsy she can be standing up to the Dalek. There's no way Mickey could have done this. This is the first time we see a Dalek open up by sliding its panels back rather than the old way of blowing it to pieces and being able to see the mutants inside. Van Staden's assistant has his mind wiped and she becomes the owner of his company and fills in the museum with concrete. A jobless Adam joins the Doctor and Rose in the TARDIS. Stay safe and well, Linda and Terry Miles.
Thank you, Linda and Terry Miles. A nice way to end the show. So next week, I do believe it's, God, what was been called now? I saw the title at the end of it, wasn't it?
Long Game.
End Game.
Long Game. The Long Game.
You always get roped into it, don't you?
I know.
You just can't resist it. So funny. All right. So End Game next week.
Long Game.
Okay, Long Game next week.
Hopefully
Right then.
we'll see Mary.
Hopefully we'll still see Mary. She'll probably turn up for the show in a minute. Maybe her clocks have gone
She
forward.
still has not responded, so
Hope she's okay.
I'm a little worried.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried.
Hopefully she's okay. I'm sure we'll find out very soon.
She might have got called in to work or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So until next time, thank you for the listening, watching, taking part in the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Scarecrow.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.